Reporters Without Borders, or Reporters Sans Frontières, is a France-based international non-profit, non-governmental organization that promotes and defends freedom of information and freedom of the press. The organization has consultant status at the United Nations. Reporters Without Borders has two primary spheres of activity. One is focused on internet censorship in the new media, and the other on providing material, financial and psychological assistance to journalists assigned to dangerous areas. Its missions are to continuously monitor attacks on freedom of information worldwide, denounce any such attacks in the media, act in cooperation with governments to fight censorship and laws aimed at restricting freedom of information, morally and financially assist persecuted journalists, as well as their families, and offer material assistance to war correspondents in order to enhance their safety. Background: Reporters Without Borders was founded in 1985 by Robert Menard, Écoute Moïluri, Jacques Molinate and Emmeline Duboneau, in Montpellier, France. Its head office is in the 2nd arrondissement of Paris. RWB also maintains offices in Berlin, Brussels, Geneva, Madrid, Rome, Stockholm, Tunis, Vienna, and Washington, D.C. At first, the association worked to promote alternative journalism, but there were disagreements between the founders. Finally, only Robert Menard stayed, and he changed the organization's direction towards promoting freedom of the press. Reporters Without Borders states that it draws its inspiration from Article 19 of the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights, according to which everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression, and also the right to seek, receive and impart information and ideas, regardless of frontiers. Robert Menard was RWB's first Secretary-General. Jean-François Julliard succeeded Menard in 2008. Christophe Deloire succeeded Julliard in July 2012 when he became Director General. Reporters Without Borders' primary means of direct action are appeals to government authorities through letters or petitions, as well as frequent press releases. Through its worldwide network of roughly 150 correspondents, RWB gathers information and conducts investigations of press freedom violations by region or topic. If necessary, it will send a team of its own to assess working conditions for journalists in a specific country. It releases annual reports on countries as well as the Press Freedom Index. It has launched advertising campaigns with the pro bono assistance of advertising firms to raise public awareness of threats to freedom of information and freedom of the press, to undermine the image of countries that it considers enemies of freedom of expression, and to discourage political support by the international community for governments that attack rather than protect freedom of information. RWB also provides assistance for journalists and media who are either in danger or having difficulty subsisting. They provide money to assist exiled or imprisoned journalists and the families and the unsupported families of journalists who have been killed, to enable journalists to leave their home countries if they're in danger there, to repair the effects of vandalism on media outlets, to cover the legal fees of journalists who have been prosecuted for their writings or the medical bills of those who have been physically attacked, and upon occasion, to provide bulletproof vests for use by journalists. Partners: Reporters Without Borders is a founding member of the International Freedom of Expression Exchange, a virtual network of non-governmental organizations that monitors free expression violations worldwide and defends journalists, writers and others who are persecuted for exercising their right to freedom of expression. RWB has a presence in 150 countries through local correspondents who act as information relays and through close collaborations with local and regional press freedom groups. Including awards received through the years, RWB has received a number of awards, including 2013, received the Freedom of Speech Award from the International Association of Press Clubs in Warsaw. 2012, received the Club International de Prensa Award in Madrid. 2009, shared the Roland Berger Human Dignity Award with Iranian human rights lawyer and Nobel Peace Laureate Shirin Ebadi. 2009, received the Medaille Charlemagne for European Media. 2008, received the Khalil Gibran Award for Institutional Excellence from the Arab American Institute Foundation. 2007, received the Asia Democracy and Human Rights Award from Taiwan Foundation for Democracy and the Dorrit Isaac Prize from Swedish Publicists Association. 2006, received an International Emmy Award from the International Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. 2005, shared the European Parliament's Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought with Nigerian human rights lawyer Hawa Ibrahim and Cuba's Ladies in White movement. 1997, received the Journalism and Democracy Prize from the Parliament Assembly of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. 1992, received the Lorenzo Natali Prize from the European Commission for Defending Human Rights and Democracy. Publications. Reporters Without Borders issues press releases, fact-finding reports, and periodical publications. It publishes periodic mission reports on developments in individual countries or regions or on a specific topic. Each December it publishes an annual overview of events related to freedom of information and the safety of journalists. It maintains a website accessible in 6 languages. World Press Freedom Index (RWB) compiles and publishes an annual ranking of countries based upon the organization's assessment of their press freedom records. Small countries, such as Andorra, are excluded from this report. The report is based on a questionnaire sent to partner organizations of Reporters Without Borders and its 130 correspondents around the world, as well as to journalists, researchers, jurists and human rights activists. The survey asks questions about direct attacks on journalists and the media as well as other indirect sources of pressure against the free press. RWB is careful to note that the index only deals with press freedom, and does not measure the quality of journalism, due to the nature of the survey's methodology based on individual perceptions. There are often wide contrasts in a country's ranking from year to year. Predators of press freedom. Starting in 2001, Reporters Without Borders has published its annual Predators of Press Freedom list, which highlights what it feels are the worst violators of press freedom. In May 2013, RWB named 39 leaders or groups as predators of freedom of information. Abdullah ibn al-Saud, King, Saudi Arabia. Al-Shabaab, armed Islamist militia, Somalia. Alexander Lukashenko, President, Belarus. Ali Khamenei, Supreme Leader of the Islamic Republic, Iran. Balaik armed groups, Pakistan. Bashar al-Assad, President, Syria. Black Eagles, paramilitary group, Colombia. Boko Haram, Islamist group, Nigeria. Chowmeli Sayasone, President, Laos. Gabangali Burda Muhammadov, President, Turkmenistan. Hamad Ben Isa al-Khalifa, King, Bahrain. Ilham Aliyev, President, Azerbaijan. Islam Karimov, President, Uzbekistan. Israel Defense Forces, Israel. Isaias Afwerki, President, Eritrea. Italian Organized Crime. Jabhat al-Nusra, Syrian Jihadi Group. Kim Jong-un, Supreme Leader, First Chairman of the National Defense Commission, and First Secretary of the Workers' Party, North Korea. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, President, Iran. Maldives Religious extremists. Miguel Facase Barjum, businessman and landowner, Honduras. Miguel Trevino Morales and the Los Zetas drug cartel, Mexico. Mullah Muhammad Omar, Taliban chief, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Swati 3, King, Swaziland. Muslim Brotherhood, Egypt. Nguyen Phu Trong, Communist Party General Secretary, Vietnam. Nursultan Nazarbayev, President, Kazakhstan. Pakistani government intelligence agencies. Paul Kagame, President, Rwanda. Philippine private militias. Rajapaksa brothers. Mahindara, President and Defense Minister, and Gotabaya, Defense Secretary, Sri Lanka. Ramzan Kadyrov, President of the Republic of Chechnya. Raul Castro, President of the Council of State, Cuba. Robert Mugabe, President, Zimbabwe. Teodoro Obiang Nguema, President, Equatorial Guinea. Vasif Talibov, Supreme Council President, Azerbaijan. Vladimir Putin, President, Russian Federation. Xi Jinping, President and General Secretary of the Communist Party, China. Yahya Jammeh, President, Gambia. 2 leaders and 3 groups were dropped from the list of predators in May 2013. Abdul Qadir Hussein Mohammed Jarwane, Minister of Information, Posts and Telecommunications in the Transitional Federal Government, Somalia. ETA, Armed Separatist Group, Spain. Hamas and Palestinian Authority Security Forces, Palestine. Thein Sein, President, Burma. Press Freedom Barometer. RWB maintains a Press Freedom Barometer on its website showing the number of journalists, media assistants, netizens, and citizen journalists killed or imprisoned during a year. Handbooks for journalists and bloggers. Over the years, RWB has published several handbooks to provide assistance to journalists and bloggers, and to raise public awareness, including Guide for Journalists Who Are Forced to Flee into Exile, June 2012. Handbook for Bloggers and Cyber Dissidents, September 2005, updated in March 2008. Handbook for Journalists, April 2007, updated February 2013. Handbook for Journalists During Elections, July 2012. Safety Guide for Journalists, December 2015. Enemies of the Internet and Countries Under Surveillance lists in conjunction with its World Day Against Cyber Censorship. RWB updates its Enemies of the Internet and Countries Under Surveillance lists. In 2006, Reporters Without Borders, a Paris-based international non-governmental organization that advocates freedom of the press, started publishing a list of enemies of the Internet. The organization classifies a country as an enemy of the Internet because all of these countries mark themselves out not just for their capacity to censor news and information online but also for their almost systematic repression of Internet users. In 2007, a second list of countries under surveillance was added. When the Enemies of the Internet list was introduced in 2006, it listed 13 countries. From 2006 to 2012, the number of countries listed fell to 10 and then rose to 12. The list was not updated in 2013. In 2014, the list grew to 19 with an increased emphasis on surveillance in addition to censorship. The list was not updated in 2015. When the Countries Under Surveillance list was introduced in 2008, it listed 10 countries. Between 2008 and 2012, the number of countries listed grew to 16 and then fell to 11. The list was not updated in 2013, 2014, or 2015. Special Report on Internet Surveillance. On 12 March 2013, Reporters Without Borders published a Special Report on Internet Surveillance. The report includes 2 new lists. A list of state enemies of the Internet, countries whose governments are involved in active, intrusive surveillance of news providers, resulting in grave violations of freedom of information and human rights, and a list of corporate enemies of the Internet, companies that sell products that are liable to be used by governments to violate human rights and freedom of information. The 5 state enemies of the Internet, named in March 2013 are Bahrain, China, Iran, Syria, and Vietnam. The 5 corporate enemies of the Internet, named in March 2013 are Amasis, Blue Coat Systems, Gamma International, Hacking Team, and Trovacore. Photography books 3 times a year. Starting in 1992, RWB publishes a photography book in its series 100 Photos for Press Freedom, to both raise awareness and raise funds to support RWB's operations. In 2010, roughly 45% of RWB's income came from sales of these and other related items. The books are distributed for free by the Nouvelles Messageries de la Presse Parisienne, or NMPP. The books are sold by the French leisure chains and supermarkets FNAC, Carrefour, Casino, Monoprix and Cora, the websites Allopage.com, FNAC.com, and Amazon.fr, as well as A2 Press, and over 300 bookshops throughout France. In 2013, 100 Photos for Press Freedom was, for the first time, published as a digital edition available through the Apple iTunes Store. Annual events. Reporters Without Borders holds several events through the year to promote press and internet freedom. World Press Freedom Index released each January. The annually published World Press Freedom Index measures the degree of freedom enjoyed by the media in over 170 countries. World Day Against Cyber Censorship. Reporters Without Borders launched the first International Online Free Expression Day on the 12th of March 2008. Now named World Day Against Cyber Censorship, this annual event rallies support for an unrestricted Internet, accessible to all. On the 12th of March, RWB awards its Netizen Prize and issues its report on freedom of information in cyberspace and enemies of the Internet list, which identifies those countries that are censoring the web and harassing Internet users. Netizen Prize on World Day Against Cyber Censorship. Reporters Without Borders awards an annual Netizen Prize that recognizes an Internet user, blogger, cyber dissident, or group who has made a notable contribution to the defense of online freedom of expression. Starting in 2010, the prize has been awarded to 2010. Awarded to the Iranian women's rights activists of the Change for Equality website, www.we-change.org, 2011. Awarded to the founders of a Tunisian blogging group named Nuart.org, 2012. Awarded to Syrian citizen journalists and activists of the Media Center of the local coordination committees, 2013. Awarded to Vietnamese blogger Hein Ngoc Chen, 2014. Awarded to Saudi Arabian blogger Raif Badawi. World Press Freedom Day. Starting in 1992, Reporters Without Borders publishes its Predators of Press Freedom list of politicians, government officials, religious leaders, militias and criminal organizations who openly target journalists. Reporters Without Borders TV5 Monde Prize. The Reporters Without Borders Prize, in which Le Monde became a partner in 2011, was created in 1992 and is given annually to a journalist that made, in RWB's words, a significant contribution to the defense and promotion of press freedom. Prize recipients. Cyber Dissident Prize. Reporters Without Borders awards a Cyber Dissident Prize under various names including Cyber Freedom Prize and Cyber Dissident. Winners include 2003, Zuhair Yahouer, 2004, Huang Chi, 2005, Masood Hamid, 2006, Guillermo Farinas, 2007, Karim Amer, Egyptian blogger, and 2008, Zarganar and Nafone Lat, 2 Burmese bloggers. Campaigns. RWB conducts advertising campaigns, jointly with communications professionals, to inform the public and to create bad publicity for governments that violate freedom of information. The campaigns are circulated to the media, international organizations, government agencies, and educational institutions using the Internet as well as traditional media channels. Examples include Sochi 2014 campaign, a program supporting journalists, bloggers, and human rights defenders in Russia, that ran from the 1st of March 2013 until the start of the Sochi Winter Olympic Games on the 7th of February 2014. Voiceless Eyes campaign, using the catchphrase, "How can you see the truth when it cannot be told?" An interactive site demonstrates the need for a free press as one element of a larger campaign launched in December 2012. The website uses webcam-activated technology to encourage users to cover and uncover their mouths to become aware of the harsh realities that can go unseen when restrictions are placed on free speech. An alternative version of the site uses the space bar. The site was selected as Site of the Day on the 18th of January 2013 by the Favorite Website Awards of Cambridge, England. Voiceless Eyes was developed for RWB at Les 84 Paris by creative directors Olivier Bianheim and Hervé Bianheim, head of creative technology Jean-Vincent Roger, strategic planner Nicolas Camillini and art director Antoine Arnoux, using images from AFP photographers Tony Carumba, Aris Messines, Jay Directo, Mauricio Lima, Bülent Kalik, Christophe Simon, Dario Leon, Olivier Laburn Matei, and Philippe Desmazes. We Fight Censorship Project, an RWB project launched on the 27th of November 2012 with support from the European Union's European Instrument for Democracy and Human Rights and the Paris City Hall. The project's goal is to combat censorship and promote the flow of news and information by creating an easily duplicated website that will be used to publish content that has been censored, banned, or has led to reprisals against its creator. The site will host content in its original language and in translation. Independent North Korean media campaign, an international advertising campaign launched on the 17th of January 2011 to support independent media in North Korea. Beijing 2008 campaign. Reporters Without Borders protested the possibility of China hosting the 2008 Summer Olympics since 2001. On the 30th of March 2008, the day the Olympic torch departed from Olympia, Greece, RWB President Robert Menard unfurled behind Chinese representative Qi Lu a banner bearing a design resembling the logo of the Olympics, in which the Olympic rings were replaced with handcuffs. On the 7th of April 2008, the day the torch came to Paris, Menard, with the help of two other activists, climbed to the top of Notre Dame Cathedral to hoist a banner with the same Olympic symbol. In one of RWB's most popular campaigns to date, T-shirts bearing the symbol became so popular that sales for them surpassed €1 million. Philippines. On the 23rd of August 2007, RWB condemned the continuing threats and violence against Philippine radio commentators who report on organized crime and corruption, following a death threat on RGMA Palawan station manager Lily Uy. On the 27th of December 2007, RWB appealed to Gloria Macapagal Arroyo administration to forthwith arrest the killers of radio broadcaster Ferdinand Lin Chuan, 51, the fifth journalist killed in 2007 in the Philippines. As first president of the Davao Association of Sports Journalists, he was murdered in Davao City on the 24th of December.